I was sitting there on a casual Friday evening, scrolling the event's Facebook page. It's good to see that even priests get hate comments on the internet. When I saw the existence of a Fair Play Award, my interest was piqued. That award's very existence, implying the inverse, that there was a set of priests out there running around, playing like Tony Pulis' Stoke against Arsene Wenger. I can't say that's ever something I've gotten the opportunity to watch, so I desperately started seeking out the footage, and it did not disappoint. I'd find out about the competition's existence just in time for the semi-finals, so I was one of the first in the chat for a surprisingly well done livestream of the game. As I sat there waiting for it to start, I had all sorts of thoughts running through my head. Does it mean more when the winning team thanks God in the post-match interviews? Are the Catholic Church annoyed about Chelsea splashing the cash and becoming main competitors in the market for South American children? Is this the ultimate competition to scout to make your Moneyball Football Manager signings? Little did I know that I was tuning in to what would be one of the best games in the history of the European Futsal Championship of Catholic priests. Poland's goalkeeper started the game as the busier of the two, with some decent saves, and there was not one goal line clearance, but two, as this almighty goalmouth scramble somehow ended up going over the bar. A corner was given, but the Croatians were adamant that there should have been a penalty, as they could be seen begging the ref to go to VAR for a potential handball. Finally, Poland managed to relieve the pressure and find some space on the counter. A heavy collision right on the edge of the box, the area, the semicircle with a flattened edge, left one side with a shout for a penalty and the other dismayed that a foul had even been given. The Croatians surrounding the referee once again. It looked close live, but I think on the slow-mos that the referee has made a fantastic decision here. Contact occurred just outside the area, and the striker was taken out by some combination of defender and goalkeeper. That collision led directly to the opening goal, an interesting defensive setup, which seemed to be the norm in this particular futsal tournament, is beaten by a sneaky little layoff and a clinical finish from the top of the D by priest number 24, Rafał Przezdziak. I'm sorry, Polish. I'll work on it. It was a harsh score going into the half-time for Hrvatska, and that frustration was on full display. The referee would have been well within his rights to start handing out the yellow cards at this stage, the Croatians showing why the Fair Play Award was needed for this competition. There was absolutely no questioning that this game mattered to both teams, and there was a serious edge on display, with full-blooded challenges flying in all over the pitch. Croatia's number 2, Rafael Villargas, was a live wire. While nearly every player in the competition is exceedingly friendly, giving each other nice little high fives after even the most gentle of collisions, this guy is playing like he's in one of those insane South American derbies where the losers have to go on the run because they become pariahs in their own city, giving referees and opponents lots of chat, flying into challenges, and celebrating each and every big goal by jumping on the nearest man possible. I had to go back and watch his other games after this, and yes, he's like this in absolutely every single one. Croatia kept the pressure up, and it was our favourite man Rafael who created their best chance of the half so far by going on a mazy run into opposition territory and getting brought down in an area which was spookily similar to where Poland were able to score from. Nothing would come out of it though, as the free kick was wasted. It looked like Poland were going to be able to close it out. Croatia had been reduced to Route 1 football, heaving it forward in the hopes of getting a goal. With only 4 minutes left, one of the attempts bounces kindly and the direct tactics finally pay off. The Croatians wheeling away in celebration at tying things up near the death. And just like that, we were going towards whatever happens when a game finishes level in the European Futsal Championships of Catholic priests, presumably some form of extra time. In the arena, they kept blowing the horn over and over again, and the game clock on the stream kept rewinding, with the commentary being in a foreign language, and my language abilities being restricted to English and Irish, with a little junior cert Spanish thrown in. I had no real idea what was going on. I do know football though, and I knew the score was tied. As the old reliable footballing cliche goes, the next goal is absolutely crucial. Extra time is hard on the legs of any footballer. Presumably, that also holds for slightly out of shape older priests. The atmosphere had ratcheted up to 11, and both teams had now reverted to Route 1 football. Croatia won a free kick, back deep in their own half, and they heaved a long ball up to their talismanic striker, only for it to squirm away from him, allowing the Polish hero of the semis, their keeper, to launch a long throw downfield. The target man made it stick beautifully, and while his initial shot was blocked, the rebound was bundled home from just off screen, sparking wild celebrations from the Polish priests, dejection from the Croatian clergymen, and causing the commentator to lose his mind. The Croatians, true to form, had complaints. 22 could not believe the decision, and 20 at the top of the screen as well. Both ran towards the referee, begging for a handball. They had to be pulled away by their manager, in a scene which would not look out of place after a controversial decision in a Premier League game. Big number 6 and the keeper had given their all as they lay on the floor for a solid minute after the goal, Polish players walking over them until they were finally picked up off the ground. After that barnstorming semi-final matchup, I don't want to hear any disrespect on the Catholic Priests European Futsal Championships name ever again. I don't want to waste your time. As much fun as I've had with this tournament, I am aware that this is just a group of priests playing football in a school gym. So I'm going to leave you with some quick fire, miscellaneous thoughts and best moments from the competition, and finish with the top 3 goals from the tournament. If you've enjoyed, please consider liking or subscribing. Sadly, the final could not quite live up to the hype of the semis. Slovakia had scraped through in a similarly close semi-final against Hungary in order to face Poland. It was a full house, and after a rousing rendition of the national anthems, things got underway. It was tight at first, but Poland were able to take a tight grip on the game and slot home 1, 2, 3, and 4 goals, along with keeping an exemplary clean sheet to take home the trophy. The own goal of the tournament had a few contenders, but this goal, where 2 Italian players seamlessly joined in with the attack, providing the assist and the finish, really did take the cake. Celebration of the tournament easily goes to the Italian goalkeeper, who got every goalkeeper's wet dream scenario, the opportunity to score the winning penalty in the shootout, and he took full advantage of it, pulling out the front flip into Cowboy Julie's combo celebration. The Hungarians, performing the most dangerous tossing of a man into the air I've ever seen, came in a distant second. It should be noted that Poland were in my mind considered pre-tournament favourites, not necessarily because of any great footballing talent, but down to raw, hard-hitting priest stats, having by far the most amount of Catholic priests out of any of the attending countries. FIFA 13 style cheese goals were out of control in this tournament, where 3 lumbering priests would break through on the keeper and perform a simple pass across the 6-yard box. Less of that and more adventurous overhead kick attempts like this next year, please. The live stream chats were absolute classics, from complaints about the camera operators seemingly falling asleep to people tuning in to watch their siblings. I just wish I could have communicated effectively so I could have done some live Eastern European meme posting. Croatia celebrated their win in the bronze medal match with this beautifully awkward video where they took the trophy into the canteen with a large speaker and interrupted everyone's dinner by dancing and singing for a couple of minutes. The save of the tournament came in the semi-final between Hungary and Slovakia, the keeper pulling off this blinder. The goalkeepers in this tournament weren't necessarily the fittest, but I was pleasantly surprised by the standards of most keepers on show. The top 3 goals from the tournament. Number 3, Burger King Burger. Some patient build-up leads to this brilliant dummy through the legs. He must be using that headband to cover up his Voldemort eyes on the back of his head. It's beautifully tucked away to end a nicely worked goal. Number 2. There was no shortage of well-struck long-range efforts, but 2 of the best in the competition happened to come from the same game, so they can share the spot. Austria's goalkeeper unlucky to have to face not 1, but 2 bangers from outside the area. Number 1. I've always been more of a team goal kind of guy, and this for me was the goal of the tournament. Number 22 working hard to win a loose ball back, before beating a man and playing a beautiful 1-2 with his teammate, before laying the ball across the goal mouth for our favourite Croatian, the Balkan Dani Carvajal, to finish. Hopefully if I can build any kind of a community on here, then we can all tune in to the 2026 Catholic Priest Indoor Futsal Championship together and make it an annual thing. Let's swarm the live chat and build a community sweepstakes. Thanks for watching.